Good morning. So, yesterday evening, I was praying at Tyburn Convent, and Our Lady gave me a beautiful interlocution on Lent and how to approach Lent. So, here goes. My children, Lent is soon approaching, and I desire you to be filled with grace and holiness. Consider Lent as a period of returning to what is essential and of shedding what is excess and non essential in your lives. A good example is with food. So many will voluntarily go on a diet, especially after periods such as Christmas or after holidays where people eat excessively. The diet serves to burn off the extra pounds so that afterwards your body will feel and look better. It is similar with Lent. It is a period where through prayer and fasting you shed and purge your spiritual souls of the effects of sin in your lives, so that afterwards you will feel and be happier and holier. Although this is challenging, God does not ask you to enter Lent alone, but rather with much help through prayer and from the Church. My dear children, your world desperately needs prayer. I urge you this Lent to make as much an effort as possible to pray and to abstain from the many excesses in your lives. Well, I don't know about you, but I felt that message was very, very simple and yet very profound and touching. Sometimes when periods like Lent arrive, we focus, or we hear other people focusing at least, on prayer and fasting and giving this up and giving that up. But often we don't hear people explaining properly why we're giving such and such a thing up and what's the purpose of it. And as a result, it can seem sort of aimless, almost like I'm giving things up for the sake of giving it up because God expects me to give something up. Okay. But Our Lady is saying no. She wants us to understand why we're doing it. And so she uses this wonderful example of food. We all know after Christmas or these type of periods, the gym gets full of people and people start going on diets because they know that they don't fit into their jeans anymore. They know that after eating more than usual, on their bodies it's showing. And they know it's not good for them, it's not good for their bodies, it's not good for their look, it's not good for anything. And so people go on diets, and after going on a diet or maybe going on an exercise program or something like that, people feel good about themselves. And afterwards, often they decide to keep on some of the diet, to keep on some of the exercise, and to make that a permanent and lasting change in their lives. So, Our Lady is saying the same. When we get into the habit of living excesses, as she calls it, maybe eating too much, drinking too much, sleeping too much entertainment, too much this, too much that, gossiping too much, talking too much, I don't know, all the things we can do. They can become sort of habits. They can become, if you like, part of us. Just like those extra calories and that extra chocolate, it actually becomes part of us. The weighing scales tells us. And so it's the same thing in the spiritual realm. These habits, spiritual habits, become one with us. And so we need to purge them off by going on a bit of an exercise or a prayer diet, if you like. And so the diet is a diet of giving these things up to the best of our ability and afterwards of praying with it. And Our Lady makes it very clear that we're to do this period or go into these periods of Lent not just on our own, but with the help of the church and with the help of prayer, with the help of God's grace. The same way as if somebody was going on a diet, they might have a mentor, they might have a personal trainer, someone to motivate them, someone to help them. So it's not about doing things on our own and then falling down in self pity if we fail. And so Our Lady is saying then that this prayer and fasting, that it sheds, it purifies, if you like, our souls. It brings our souls back into equilibrium, just as going on a diet can bring our bodies back into a better place. Putting prayer back into the middle of our lives and making this effort, it purges our soul basically of the excesses and brings us back, centers us in Jesus, centers us in what life is all about. And hopefully then going forward, when we're centered in that, we won't be as tempted to run off and to do the same things again because we'll be strengthened in this place. And so she says, although it's challenging, God does not ask you to enter Lent alone, but to help through prayer and from the church. So she's not denying that it's not easy, but she's not saying it's impossible either. Challenging is the word she uses, challenging. And then she finishes by saying that our world desperately needs prayer, and so she urges us to make as much effort as possible to pray and abstain from the many excesses in our lives. In other words, she's begging us. She's saying, I know it's not simple. I know you're living in a difficult world, but I'm begging you, please, it is worth it in the long run. Your world needs prayer, prayer for yourself, for your own soul, but also prayer as well for the people around you. And also, when one person prays and they give that example, it sets off an example to others and it can become contagious. It can become a witness. So, as we enter into this Lent this time, let's see it as an opportunity. Let's see it as an opportunity to get spiritually fit, to shed off some of these excess spiritual pounds of sin or whatever that we've accumulated over the years, and look forward to all the graces and blessings and holy communions and confessions and prayers that we're going to receive over this Lent to strengthen us, to heal us, and to help us to be happier and holier when Easter time comes, so that summertime's coming we can do great evangelization and be full of love and light for Jesus. So thanks for watching and have a beautiful Sunday.